The final transmission somewhere far beyond the edge of our solar system, past the orbit of Neptune, past the frozen debris of the Kuiper belt, there lies a vast and silent frontier. It is a place where the sun is nothing more than a faint star, a pale flicker in an ocean of darkness. A place where warmth has vanished, where silence stretches unbroken, and where distances are so immense that even light takes centuries to cross them. And there, drifting in that abyss, is Voyager 2. A tiny machine of metal and wire, no larger than a family car, yet carrying with it the voice of an entire species. Launched in 1977, Voyager 2 was humanity's boldest gesture of curiosity. It was built in an age when computers were the size of cabinets, when phones were tethered by cords, and when the idea of exploring other stars belonged only to science fiction. And yet, this fragile probe, guided by commands typed on keyboards now long forgotten, has endured. It has outlived its designers, outlived the space race, outlived the nations and events that gave it birth. For more than 4 decades, it has drifted outward, a patient messenger of Earth, its faint transmissions crossing billions of miles to return whispers of the unknown. Each signal takes nearly a day to reach us, traveling at the speed of light across the cosmic void. And though its power fades, though its instruments grow weak with age, it has never stopped calling home. But this time, what it sent back was not another routine measurement of cosmic particles. Not another faint echo of solar radiation. Not the static heartbeat of a dying machine. It was something else. Something no one expected. Something no one was prepared to see. It was an image. A final image. And what that image revealed was so shocking, so impossibly precise, so disturbingly deliberate, that it shook the very foundations of science. It was not the blurred smear of a distant star. It was not the scatter of dust or plasma. It was not chance. It was a pattern. A geometry in the dark. A structure too perfect to be natural, too deliberate to be random. An anomaly that looked intelligent. As though it had been built, assembled, crafted with intention. And it was captured not by accident, but by a probe powered by fading plutonium, still carrying instructions written decades ago, back when the world had just begun its digital age. How could this ancient machine, older than the internet, older than GPS, older than the smartphones in our pockets, suddenly become the messenger of something that may not be natural at all? Was Voyager 2 being watched? Was it being followed, its journey shadowed by something unseen? Or had it crossed a hidden boundary, a region where the laws of physics themselves bend and twist into something alien? Or perhaps worse, had it stumbled upon a secret we were never meant to uncover? This was not coincidence. This was not noise. This was something more. A warning, perhaps. A message, written not in words, but in mathematics. Patterns etched in light. Codes woven into silence. A message encoded in the fading, final frames of Voyager 2's long and lonely journey. And if you still believe the anomaly, NASA moved quickly to investigate. At first, some hoped it was a glitch. A dying sensor. A corrupted transmission. But the data refused to vanish. The anomaly appeared not in one instrument, but in several. Across multiple wavelengths. Across separate time intervals. Each confirming the same impossible structure. When the raw readings were mapped and decoded, they revealed something extraordinary. Ratios and patterns hidden within the geometry, repeating Fibonacci sequences, prime number intervals, mathematical signatures too deliberate to be random. One physicist described it as, the universe winking at us with code. But space does not wink. Deep space does not build ratios. The void does not calculate. And it certainly does not adapt. This anomaly did. When Voyager's instruments scanned more closely, the structure shifted. Not violently, not chaotically, but subtly. As though it were aware. As though it were responding to being observed. Not natural. Not random. Perhaps artificial. Or worse, perhaps alive. Whispers behind closed doors inside NASA's conference rooms, the mood shifted from excitement to unease. Leaked emails described tense conversations, scientists arguing over whether to call it a discovery or a threat. Some insisted it was a form of interference, unknown dust clouds or gravitational lensing. But others whispered something far more unsettling. What if this was not an object at all? What if it was a construct? A field of information? A deliberate distortion in space itself, like a mirror tuned to answer only when we finally looked closely enough. A cosmic surveillance system. Not built to welcome us. Not built to destroy us. But built to watch. And Voyager, our frail machine of the 1970s, had triggered it. Echoes of our own message. When quantum AI combed deeper through the signal, the findings grew even more disturbing. Buried within the anomaly's transmission patterns were sequences. Not just any sequences, but echoes of the exact same mathematical language engraved on the Voyager golden record. Prime numbers. Fibonacci spirals. Geometric ratios. The very universal code we once sent into the void as a cosmic greeting. The anomaly wasn't just sending patterns. It was mirroring ours. It was as if something out there had not only received our message, but understood it. And now it was answering, using the same logic, the same code, but woven into a structure so subtle, so alien, that only with today's quantum tools could we finally see it. Not 50 years ago. Not 5 years ago. Now. As if it had been waiting for us to evolve, to grow smart enough to hear the reply. A beacon in the dark. Voyager's magnetometers, though operating far beyond their expected lifespan, picked up something else. The local magnetic field around the anomaly pulsed. Not randomly. Not chaotically. But rhythmically. Predictably. Like a signal. Like a beacon. Like a heartbeat. And the intervals between each pulse? They matched the same Fibonacci progression seen in the structure itself. This was no static. No natural turbulence. This was communication. For decades, we have searched the skies for alien radio signals, for faint chemical traces in exoplanet atmospheres. But what Voyager may have found was something far more advanced. Not wreckage. Not noise. But a civilization, or a force, capable of reshaping the very environment around it, leaving behind patterns, knowing that only intelligence would ever recognize them. And we just did. Reflection. As the analysis deepened, an even darker possibility emerged. What if Voyager's final image was not of an object at all? What if it was a reflection? Not metaphorical. Not poetic. But literal. A distortion in the fabric of space, a dynamic mirror, turning itself toward us the instant we observed. A mechanism. A field. Perhaps even a sentient system, lying dormant until our technology finally touched its boundary. Not an accident. Not a coincidence. A trigger. Voyager hadn't discovered something new. Voyager had awakened something that had always been there. Waiting. Conclusion. For nearly half a century, Voyager 2 carried humanity's optimism into the void. We engraved our greetings, our music, our mathematics into a golden record, believing maybe, someday, someone would find it. But deep down, we never truly believed they would answer. Until now. The final image Voyager 2 returned is not just data. It is not just a picture. It is a rupture. A scar across our understanding of the universe. A geometric echo of our own logic, reflected back to us in forms too precise, too deliberate to be chance. Not a star. Not a planet. Not dust, gas, or plasma. But something else. Something that thinks. Something that waits. Something that mirrors us. And worst of all, something that understands us. We once believed we were sending a message into the dark. But Voyager's last act may have confirmed the oldest fear in human history, the one whispered in myths, in religions, in every eye that ever looked at the stars. We were never alone. Not in this galaxy. Not in this dimension. Not even in the silence. And now, with a single dying transmission, that silence has been broken.